How do, and welcome back. So today I'm making a kit beer. It's the Wilko Hoppy Copper Bitter, which as I mentioned in the last video, when I last brewed this, which was a long time ago, I can't remember it being very hoppy. About the only thing is right about the label is the copper. It had a nice copper colour. So I'm going to brew this. I'm going to use this as my base, and for the extra fermentables I'm going to be using malt extract, the Cooper's light malt extract. This is 1.5 kilograms, as is the Hopper Copper Bitter, so together that's 3 kilograms of fermentables there. But I want to use up a bit of my grains and a bit of my hops, so I'm going to mod it, I'm going to pimp it up. And I'm going to start with the specialty grains. They're here. Everything's laid out as is my habit. This is a mixture of 200 grams medium crystal, so hopefully that will give us some nice caramelly toffee notes. And it's also mixed with 100 grams of a dark crystal. The dark crystal's called Crisp Crystal 240, so it's EBC is 240. And according to the website of the maltster, it gives a nice roasty, almost like a burnt toffee flavour. So that sounds nice. It should make a nice rich sweet tasting beer. I'm going to steep these in my tea urn, officially known as a wine warmer, but it's what I call my tea urn. This is already at temperature. It's around 67 degrees according to the dial, and I'm just going to let them steep for half an hour. Now I've lost the little tray that sat at the bottom. It's in here somewhere, I'll find it. It's not gone completely, and that was ideal because it just fit in perfectly, and basically it stopped the grain bag from touching the bottom, where there's a risk that you will scorch the grains. So what I'm actually going to do is just catch it with the lid, and the bag, just catch it with the lid and have it suspended like that above the base of the tea urn. What I'm then going to do is transfer it all to the stock pot. So I've got my stock pot ready. This is a 12 litre stock pot. In fact, if you've watched my earlier videos, or if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll recognise this because I used to do all my brews in this before I got the SS brew kettle. So it's like the return of an old friend. I brewed quite a few beers in this. And then to that I will be adding hops, and I've chosen the First Gold. So there's 2 lots of hops. One will go in and boil for 15 minutes. To give flavour. That's First Gold hops, 15 grams, and then I've got another 15 grams that I'll put in at flame out and let them sit for about 10-15 minutes, whilst at the same time I have these soaking in hot water, and then we just put it all together. Right, so here we go. I'll bounce it up and down. The colour's already coming out, and I'll just catch this in there, and that's it. Just let that sit now for half an hour. It's temperature controlled, which is great. It's about 67 degrees, and then in half an hour I'll come back and we'll transfer into the stock pot. Well, as I've got half an hour to spare, and I've actually done everything, I've got everything in place, I thought I'd have a beer, and I thought I'd review it for you. Now, it's called Perla. I think it's pronounced actually Perła, because it's Polish, and it's that L with the line through it. And it's Mocna, M-O-C-N-A, and I thought that meant like black lager, but it doesn't. And I was really looking forward to a black lager. It means strong. It's 7.6%, so I'm only having one. But it's a really tasty lager. It's not overly alcoholic. In fact, you can't really taste much alcohol at all. But it has a really lovely deep malt sweetness. To be honest, it's a little bit too sweet for my taste. Virtually no bitterness, and a little light hop, maybe just a little. But it's definitely all about the malt, and wow, yeah, it is a full flavoured, medium bodied lager beer that's will knock you off your chair if you drink it too fast or you have too many. So only the one this afternoon. It's definitely a sipper, but it is a nice beer. I go to this Polish shop, Central European shop, about every couple of weeks, and I really enjoy the Polish beers. They've got a real vast array, more than you can find in a normal supermarket. But yeah, I was after a black lager. I really fancied a black lager, but well, you can understand why I thought it was, but unfortunately it's not. And as it is a Polish shop, everything's in Polish, so I couldn't understand, and I didn't notice the percentage. Otherwise I'd have left it on the shelf. But there we go. It's definitely a nice beer if you like your sweet, full flavoured malty lagers. It's just not what I was expecting, but it's nice. But I'm only going to have one. Right, there's only about 10 minutes to go now, so I'll get back to you when I'm ready to transfer into the stock pot. Okay, the half hour has passed. I'm still slowly sipping on this. I've switched off the tea urn, and now I'm going to transfer the grains into this strainer and then pour this malty liquid over them and let it drain as it comes up to the boil. So here we go. Hold on to the bag. Transfer this as quick as I can. Oh, that's a lovely colour. I don't know if you can see it. There we go, let them drain in there, and I'm going to just pour this over the grains into the stock pot, and I'm going to bring it to a boil. This is very close to a boil now, and I had a really good idea. Why don't I add this bag of 500 grams of light dry malt extract into here, and yeah, just give it a bit more oomph for the final gravity. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, it's boiling, so in go my next hops, well, the first hops, and we just give them 15 minutes in the boiling wort, and it smells amazing. Nice biscuit aroma, probably from the light dry malt extract, but a really nice rich sweet, like a toffee sort of aroma from the malt, the specialty grains. Really nice. Right, so it's been 15 minutes, and now we're going to turn off the heat, and in goes the final 15 grams of first gold, and they'll just sit there and seep for about another 10 or 15 minutes while the syrup in the tins soften in, well, boiling water. It's actually been about 2 or 3 minutes from the boil, so still very hot though, and they'll sit in there for that 10 or 15 minutes and just soften all the extract. And what I'm going to do now is go and get the fermenter. It's already been sanitised. I'm going to give it probably a little spray inside with some star sand just to be safe. Obviously my spoon is satin star sand here, so that's sanitised. Everything now has to be sanitised. So let that sit 15 minutes, get some nice aroma from that first gold edition, and I'll come back with the big bucket and we'll put it all together. Now it's just like making a kit. It's instead of just using boiling water from the kettle, I'm going to be using the liquid from the saucepan. Okay, it's 15 minutes are up. Let me just, that's in view, isn't it? You can see that, yeah. So what I'm going to do now is, where are they gone? They've gone, so they're here. I've had these soaking in star sand. Kitchen tongs, thanks Pierre. I think it was you who reminded me what they were called. I couldn't remember in the last video. Kitchen tongs. I'm going to take out these hot bags. Let them drain a little. Oops. There we go. And then I'm going to actually put them in the sieve over the fermenter and just let them drain. Come on. This wasn't the best idea, but not to worry. Using these. The bag's gone all slippery. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is pour about half of this liquid into the fermenter, and I'll tell you why, or I'll show you why I'm only using half at the moment. That was a lovely colour, did you see it? Wow! So that's about half in there, about 2.5 litres. I'm now just going to open the extract tins. Again, I've had my tin opener soaking in the star sand in my very handy windowsill flower box filled with star sand. So let's get this open. Oh, just that last bit that didn't want to come off, but not to worry. Okay, let's get this now. You can see that. Now let's get this into the bucket, or the fermenter, as I should say. There we go. Give it a mix as it's going in. Whoops. I'm on uneven ground. Can you see the fermenter's rocking? There we go. Now then, what I'm going to do is move this sieve, although some of it's gone in there, but not to worry, only a drop. And I'm going to scrape most of this out. That's lovely and soft after being soaking for 15 minutes. And this is why I didn't use all of the all of the water in the stock pot, because I'm going to use it to rinse these tins out. That's all softened and dissolved now. That's great. Do the second tin. Okay, now all the extract's been dissolved. I'm just going to get these last bits out of the tin. That's why I'm still using the pan. No water in it, but it's just to catch any drips from here that may spill. And then all this can go back into the fermenter and give this a stir now in the tin. And then I'll just use this same liquid in the other tin as well. There you go, not a bad clean tin there, and that's it. All I have to do now is top this up. I might top it up to about 20 litres, which will add to the body, obviously add to the ABV. Should give me a nice, with that extra 500 grams of light dry malt extract, it should give me a nice ABV. It's certainly smelling very nice. You can smell the hops. Right, I'll go and top this up with cold water. So, the beer's now at 20 litres, and what do you know? It's about 23 degrees, so I can pitch the yeast straight away. I'm going to use the Jervin English Ale yeast. It's actually Nottingham, it's just rebadged for Wilko. But before I do that, I'm just going to fill up my hydrometer tube and we'll see what gravity we get. I'm hoping for something, well, I don't think it'll be too high, to be honest. So if I get into the 5% range, I'm going to be happy. So let's just put that to one side and I'll pitch the yeast, and then we'll take a look at the hydrometer reading. Just let it settle a bit. Oh, it's looking good. And there it is. Let me just get my beer. There it is. Brew day's finished. I'm still sipping this. Right, so let's have a look at this gravity reading. Well, it's a nice healthy 1070. Spot on 1070. Reading below the meniscus, you know. So that would mean, if I can put my phone back in. I was using the phone to make the B-roll. In fact, when I was scattering the yeast, I forgot to press play, otherwise you would have seen that, but it's only me scattering dry yeast. But let's have a look, Abv Calculator, and let's just see what that 7 should produce. If it comes down to, well, a 1010, I think it will be about 7%, won't it? Well, let's have a look. Brewer's Friend. So starting gravity is 1070. Update 7.8 if it gets down to 1010. Bloody hell. Let's be a bit more reasonable. Let's say it gets down to 1015, because I don't know if this yeast will attenuate all the way down. 7.2, so it's still a 7% beer. So there you go, proper winter warmer, an autumnal ale. Now we just wait. Again, 10 days to 2 weeks in here. I'm going to keg this, so I'll leave it 10 days to 2 weeks in the pressure barrel, and then we'll be able to pour a nice 7% beer. But let me have a taste. This hasn't been sanitised, so I'm not going to pour it back in. Oh, that's tasting nice. There is a nice bitterness to the kit. Obviously the hops I've added, they'll have only added a minimum amount of bitterness. They're just there for flavour and the aroma. And it has got a nice hop aroma. You can taste some of the hops there. Nice little citrus note to it. But definitely this is a beer that I think that's going to be all about the malt. Really nice caramel and a little bit of roastiness in there with some pale malt. Of course, it won't be as sweet as this when it's finished, because the sugars in here now will be turned into alcohol, but those flavours will still be there because, as I said in my last video, the specialty grains aren't fermentable, so all that flavour will remain there, and the aroma. Oh, this is looking like a good beer. Right, thanks for watching. If you're a kit brewer, exclusively, you've just made kits, this is just a nice way to experiment with different flavours from grains and different flavours from hops, and it only adds about an hour to your brew day. You can put a kit together in 15-20 minutes. So all you've got to do is steep some grains for half an hour, bring that to the boil, which doesn't take long at all because it's already at about 65-70 degrees, and then just, well, you could even just boil it for a few minutes, turn off the heat and just add your whirlpool hops and do a hop stand for about 10 or 15 minutes. I actually boiled for 15 so I can get some flavour hops in there as well, but that's part of the experimentation. So it's a nice way, if you're just a kit brewer, just to up your game a little bit and have a play around with some extra flavours. Right, well, thanks very much for watching. I am very slowly finishing this beer, and then I'll take this indoors and yeah, it'll start fermenting in the next 24 hours, and in about a month's time we can have a taste. And when will it be? Oh, it'll be nearly November when this is ready, so just in time. A nice autumnal, strong autumnal ale for November. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye for now.